Good morning and happy Friday to those joining. I am, as you join, I'm going to give you access to speak if you want, but you don't have to do that at this point. But thanks for joining us for this. We're going to wait a few minutes to allow people to join, but glad to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Ah,
Hopefully it's more comfortable where you are. It's getting hot and humid in New York again.
oh,
Wave is hitting everywhere.
yeah. Well, I'm at least inside, so I don't know for sure, but it's definitely been hot and humid here in the Carolinas. But
All right, well,
kind of normal for us.
Harvey, don't complain. It got down to like the 60s in the morning. Like, we can't have it all.
Yeah,
year round.
like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
all right.
At this
Thank
point,
you.
I'm used to it. It happens.
I'm going back on mute so I
Sure.
don't say anything inappropriate, but thank you.
You're amongst friends, so it's okay.
That I know, but sometimes, when you work remote, you start muttering to yourself and you don't realize it. And then when you're on a Zoom call, people are like, what was that?
Cynthia, don't worry. I used to live in New York City, so I know exactly how it is.
Yeah, we stayed our mind. Well,
We
and
do.
it's gotten even more pronounced since we're all pretty remote. I am, but
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I miss New York for sure. I left after the pandemic.
Yeah, those walls started closing in on you.
Yes. My little closet.
Yeah.
My little closet apartment.
It's gotten a little dangerous though, between the subways, the guns,
Yes,
the
yes.
pandemic, the new pandemic. I mean, I live out on Long Island. I don't go into New York at all anymore for work or events or anything, but watching the news is a little alarming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm glad to hear that you've left New York in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, I was actually in the heart of New York in Midtown East.
Wow. Right by the city building?
Do you know the neighborhood Turtle Bay?
Yes.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
Beautiful area.
Yep. And I also live near Murray Hill and all over Manhattan. You know how it is in New York, we apartment hop.
You know what? You had the experience. Now you go forward.
Yes. Yep. Let's wait another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
How about you, Devin? Where are you located?
He doesn't want to talk to you, Paul. You're a stranger.
I know. Cynthia is my new best friend.
Stranger danger.
You get used to it in New York. Everyone's friends. You just bump and rub and say hi to everyone.
Which is funny because that's like the opposite of what people tell you, when you're not from there and you go up there. It's like, don't talk to people and don't look people in their eyes.
Oh, yeah. But if you're sitting in like a restaurant or something, everyone.
Yeah.
Just stay away from Times Square. That'll probably be my best advice to people.
Yes.
We'll wait just a few more minutes. In fact, we will have a pretty intimate crowd today, which is pretty cool. We'll have lots of interaction, hopefully. Paul, it's always funny to see your background come up and then you're invisible and then you just appear.
You know, man, I'm invisible, man. Oh shoot, that was secret identities exposed. What do I do now? Hey, Jack Chan, I saw you hopping in. Where are you located?
It only works for me, Paul.
I gotta go invisible.
He's back invisible.
You know, I'm glad. Thanks everyone for joining early today. I know it's a Friday morning, but it should be pretty good. Files is definitely one of my favorite products of Nutanix. So you guys are definitely in a good webinar or boot camp here today. So looking forward to it. We can wait another 2 minutes, or we can go ahead and kick it off. Harvey, up to you.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, we got one more person that just hopped on.
Now, for all the craziest reasons, I hit the little button on my screen. There we go. To lock my workstation, it wouldn't let me back in. So that's why I was like, well, hold on just a minute.
You tried to hit record, Samantha would be pretty angry.
Oh yeah, nice.
I heard it say record, so we're good.
Yes, because she will chase me down. She's not too far away for that.
Good stuff.
She's a mighty little lady. She will come after you.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Yep, I am cool with that. All right, thanks everybody for joining on a happy Friday. Hopefully happy Friday for you. Since you're here, it means you're not getting beat up, so I guess it is a happy Friday. This will be our Nutanix Files Technology Boot Camp here. Got myself and a couple other people on, so I guess I will start. I am Harvey Green. I fill a bunch of different roles at XenTegra, but the ones that you'll probably hear the most about is solutions architect. I've been doing that now for, gosh, 4 years. Been at XenTegra for about 6 years. And as of about a year ago, I also run the XenTegra Gov organization, which is focused toward SLED and Fed customers, so state and local government, as well as education and federal government. So I always have a lot going on, thanks to a couple more people who just joined. I also have with me two very important people at Nutanix. So I'll start with Mr. Paul. Paul, go ahead and intro yourself, sir.
Yep, thank you for that, Harvey. So again, good morning, guys. My name is Paul Nguyen. I'm senior SE here at Nutanix. Been here 4+ years, so it's been a wild ride, but a good one. A lot of cool stuff coming up, and this is my not to be biased, right? This is definitely my favorite boot camp out of our Nutanix portfolio. So you guys are in for a treat today.
Yes.
I also work alongside Alex, who's my sales rep. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Paul and Harvey. Alex Kluger, I am based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you everybody for joining today. You got two of the best on here to talk about the Better Together story with XenTegra and Nutanix. It's been a very healthy partnership over the last couple of years that I've been working with the team. I've been with Nutanix a little over a year and a half now, and you know we've had a lot of great success stories. You know, expanding the reach of XenTegra across the country, and Obviously, the boot camps are one of the best ways to get the technology in front of our clients and our potential customers. And just want to thank you again for joining. And please, feel free to go off mute, introduce yourself, ask questions. We like this to be a little bit more of an engaging conversation, and want to make this, tailored to what you're looking for out of today. So again, thank you, and look forward to hearing Harvey and Paul run through it again.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Alex. Like Cynthia knows, I'm a New Yorker, so I can talk all day, but I want to hear from you guys. Keep this interactive and fun. It's a smaller crowd, so if you guys don't mind, if you go, I guess, down the line, skip your name, who you work for, your background, and what you like to do for fun, right? It's a small group. I like to play tennis. That's kind of my hobby outside of work. I think the first one I have a phone number, so I'll skip that and come back later. Brad Jumper, if you want to do a quick intro to yourself. I see you're off mute, but we still can't hear you, Brad. Feel free to type in the chat as well. If
sorry, I was on the phone, so I had to hit some buttons. Had to hit some buttons there. I just got in the call. I didn't catch what the discussion was about.
We're just doing introductions because it's a smaller group, and I like to build a community. Just introduction to yourself, your name, who you work for, any experiences, Nutanix, or and anything fun you like to do, just for fun, right?
Anything we can definitely do this. I work for Hematology and Oncology Associates, and we're actually looking to potentially buy Nutanix through Zentegra. So I'm just trying to get into any webinar I can to just see features and get an idea for the look and feel of what that environment looks like. I kind of do everything as an IT manager, everything from system administration to workstation support. It's really, everything's fair game if it has a cord. I'm here located in northeastern Pennsylvania, and in my spare time, when I have any, I usually play golf.
Ah, nice. Alex is a big golfer.
More soccer, but addicted to golf at this point.
Cool. Cynthia, I have you next on my list.
Oh man, you made her run away.
Oh.
It's okay. You can talk. Don't worry about Paul.
Oh, come back.
All right.
I think Devin, are you there?
Hey, I don't know if you guys tried to talk to me early on in the meeting. I actually had to step away, so I apologize if you were trying to reach out to me.
Alex was just going to give you a gift card, but we'll get another chance.
Okay. Hi, I'm Devin. I work for a credit union in Indiana. We're Beacon Credit Union. We've had Nutanix for, I think, 2 years now, and we're looking at switching to FS Logix in terms of containerization. So we were playing around with the idea, and I think we're still looking into getting that set up using Nutanix files as the repository, or whatever you want to call it, the share for those FS Logix containers. So I was hoping to maybe get a little bit more background information. I know Nutanix has some documentation in terms of benchmarks and stuff about Nutanix files and FS Logix, but if I could, even just see a little bit of it, or just get any kind of information regarding that and what other people have seen, that's great. That'd be great. I forget, I think it was Matt Kidder who suggested this call, webinar, whatever, to us. So just throwing it, just name dropping in case that helps him out or whatever, because he's a great rep.
Absolutely. And you get the hands-on experience with Nutanix files as well, to see if it's a good fit, and we'll talk more deeper discussion on your specific use case. But yes, we can do what you're looking for.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Next, I have Jack Chan. Cool. I'll skip through. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Maurice, are you there as well? If you can, I'll go off mute and we can get a quick introduction. We're just looking for name, where you work, any technical backgrounds, where you look for this class, and it's something you like to do for fun. Cool. At the same time, Saifu. Cool. The next person that speaks up gets a gift card. Gift card, anyone?
Hey, I'm here. I'll take it.
Damn it. Let's get.
All right. So we'll go through a bunch of, well, I say a bunch, not that many. We'll go through some slides about Zentegra as a whole. The first one of which is that we're crazy enough to give away a Bronco. We actually just did that earlier this summer. I believe it was, gosh, June. I don't know. At this point, crazy enough, but we have another sweepstakes that we're going to be doing for this year. Will also be for a Bronco. And so you can go out to bronco.zentegra.com to get more information on that. It'll be epic what we're planning. So definitely go out there and take a look at that. You might be the future winner. And if you are, I just want one little test ride. I mean, it doesn't even have to be off road. So no, you don't want to bruise up the baby so quickly. So a little bit about who Zentegra is as a company. We are a value-added reseller who is very much focused on the value-added portion of this. We want to make sure that our customers and future customers are well educated so that they can make the right decisions for their use cases. And so to that end, we do a lot of things like this very workshop you're on that are absolutely free for anyone to join. Current customers, which you heard, couple of current customers on here, future customers, a couple of future customers on here as well. And so we like to make sure that you've got all the ammo that you can have in order to both have those discussions internally and to make sure that you're designing the correct solutions for your use cases. We do a lot of that as well. Feel free to lean on me, lean on Paul to make sure that you're getting what you need. The conversation around FS Logics and profile usage, that's a perfect way, to get some additional knowledge out of us today, squeeze some of that out and take it with you. That's actually a very good use case for Nutanix files that we do a lot of. We also have consulting services as well for those of you who have lots of work and don't have lots of time. I can relate to that 100%. But we have a full consulting bench across multiple vendors that can help you with achieving completion of your projects, as well as helping with getting some of your team trained and get some of that on the job type training from somebody who's done it 1,000 times. We can sit next to your team and kind of augment your team and have them do the button clicking while we just show them the wheres and the whats and the hows. So that's important too. For those of you with less time or maybe less staff, we also do managed services as well. That's run out of a branch of Zentegra that is based in Alpharetta, Georgia. 100% US based support, and our staff is kind of spread across the country so that we can kind of follow the sun with you as well. We also do a 24/7, 365 help desk out of that same division. And so you've got that as well from a support standpoint. So if you run into problems and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you have nobody that you can call, we will pick up the phone. So got that available to you as well. We do also do hosted services as well. It's not on this slide, but we do that so that if you don't want to continue to own and maintain your own hardware there, we can help with that as well. Complimentary assessments are here. We call those micro assessments. We do those as about a half a day. Sometimes it's a little bit less type of, jump under the hood with you, take a look at what you have set up, how it's going, and make sure that we're letting you know of anything that we notice that might be a security risk, software that's outdated, something like that. Any concerns that we have that we want to bring to your attention about the way that you're deployed, or just give you a good health check on how you're deployed. We do that for you at no cost. You'll spend time with one of my counterparts as a solutions architect who will go through the environment with you. You'll get a deliverable at the end of that. We'll jump back on and go through it step by step with you so that you know where you stand and why you stand that way. So again, do a lot of those things at no cost to you at all. And that's no obligation at all either. You'll get the report. You can do whatever you want with it, ball it up and throw it away, or give it to your team to say, hey, go fix this, or say, hey, how can you help us fix these things? And, we can help with that too. We've got a team. We kind of counted up the end user compute experience within the team, and it was around 716 years. And at this point, it's been added to because we've added people. We're a growing organization as well. So I guess the big takeaway here is that you've got a lot of experience coming at you from the Zentegra side. Definitely feel free to use us to bounce ideas off or bounce problems off so that we can help you find solutions. We do that as much as we can, and I won't say we've seen it all because people invent new stuff every day, but we've seen a lot of what's there. It's a picture of a much younger picture of our founder and CEO, Andy Whiteside. He used to work for Citrix. He was one of the Citrix sales engineers of the year. So a very, very smart guy, very technical guy. And he just founded Zentegra out of the need that he saw for customer enablement and true partnership. And by true partnership, we very much mean we don't just sell you something and disappear and come back around when it's renewal time. We like to make sure that we're, moving through with you. I like to liken it as we hold your hand and go through the fire with you, or hold your hand and take you around, like, don't go that way, there's a fire. So however we can help, right? We're trying to do that alongside you, not just saying, hey, here, buy this and we'll see you at renewal time. Not paper pushes at all. So we've won awards for that kind of strategy. This is a picture of an award that we won as this was, Worldwide Partner of the Year for Citrix. We won that award for Citrix. We won that award for iGel. I'm still working on it for Nutanix, man. Alex, you got to put in the good word.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
But while it's nice to win the awards and get those kind of accolades from our vendor partners, we want to win Partner of the Year for each of our customers. So that's where we put our focus. The awards that come from the vendor partners are great, but it's much more important that we get that award from each and every one of you. So to that end, we'll tell you more about all of the other crazy things that we do to try to make sure that we're bringing our community together, get your attention to be around both us and your colleagues. Events.zentegra.com is the site where we have our calendar of events. They are spread very much across the US, lots of in person, lots of virtual. So whatever strikes your fancy, whether that's, you know, baseball or shooting at the gun range or hockey. We've got a bunch of different events that we do to try to make sure that we're out and about, making sure we get people together and, you know, that you guys get to network and interface with your peers as well. So check that out, sign up for anything you see out there. All of it will be at zero cost to you. And, you know, we'll make sure that you have a great time. If you don't follow us on LinkedIn, you definitely can do that as well. And you'll be able to see all of the places and smiling faces that we host year round. So webinars.zentegra.com is where we host a list of our webinars that we do. We do at least one of those every Wednesday. Sometimes it's two, but we've got webinar Wednesdays going on all year. New topic every single time. So definitely jump out there and join those as you need to. They're not as long as the workshops. Like the workshop today is scheduled for 3 hours. You know, you guys might get finished before that. We'll see how quickly you run through it. But the webinars are normally about 45 minutes to an hour from a time investment standpoint. So you can definitely join those at any point. And then again, those are mostly on Wednesdays. Podcast.zentegra.com is another way that you can kind of pull the knowledge out of us, consume what we're putting out there. We've got, oh gosh, at this point, I think 10 different podcasts, if not 11. I know we just started one not long ago. So, you know, you guys will see a bunch of those. Some of them are weekly, some of them are monthly. I actually participate as one of the co-hosts for the Nutanix podcast that we do every week. And so you'll hear plenty out of that. You can definitely listen to that and hopefully you like it. If not, then you can tell me it's okay. I'm a big boy. This is a slide just to take a look at. Some of our customer base here. What you will see on here is, you know, a bunch of different types of organizations. You'll see, you know, schools, TV channels. You'll see healthcare systems, banks, lots of different things. Even a tire manufacturer on there. We do what we do for basically anybody in any industry. A lot of the problems that we're all trying to solve have some similarities. Some are exactly the same, some are, you know, just similar. And there are some that are just, you know, one-offs. But we do whatever we can do for our customers, no matter what the vertical. There's no one vertical that's more important to us than another. And I mean, big customers, small customers, those things don't really matter. We're doing what we do to try to make sure that we service and take care of everybody so that we can all win and move forward. I mean, ultimately, this is about moving your respective companies and institutions further. And so, you know, we look good by making you look good. And so, you know, that's hopeful for everybody going through it. Like I say, we solve a lot of these problems for other companies. A lot of these are similar, and we're more than happy to jump in and, you know, help make you look good by having you solve some of the problems that your company's going through. Again, you know, value-added reseller. We do that across, at this point, I don't know, 85 different technologies, I believe, at this point. So services as well, which we've kind of talked about. And we pride ourselves on trying to be an end-to-end kind of solution for you. So don't be afraid to come to us with something you feel like might be crazy. We've probably dealt with something similar, or, you know, have something similar as far as experience through it. So the big thing there at the bottom, multiple solutions, a single vendor, single point of contact. Basically, you know, we can be your mountain guide, right? We know how to get up this mountain. we might not be taking the same path as we took the last time, but we've seen enough on the way that we can help you get around some of the obstacles and not have to climb the 50-foot wall when the path is clear the other way. So partners.zentegra.com is where you can see all of the technology vendor partners that we partner with. If you see anything on that site that you use today, we are more than happy to jump on and speak with you about it. Probably have a micro assessment around it so you can at least get a health check and the way that you deployed it. So we're very happy to jump in on that. Or if you see something on that list that you're looking to possibly bring in or at least evaluate, learn more about, and we're more than happy to have those conversations too. No issues with jumping on and having a conversation about a future technology that you don't even have budget to buy for the next 2 years. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Like, let's align where you're going to what you want to achieve. And so we'll do a lot of that. And again, those things don't cost you anything, just some time with us. XenTegra Connect is the division of XenTegra I spoke about earlier that does the support desk as well as the hosting services, as well as the managed services. Again, based out of Alpharetta, Georgia, all US-based techs. This is a list of our cloud partners here. As you can see, Nutanix, Citrix, VMware. We're a big Microsoft partner as well. So any of these are our focused cloud partners. We can definitely, talk to you about any of these, be able to help you through figuring out, your next step with any of these. So definitely reach out if you have questions, if you want to talk about anything, we're more than willing. We do also have a staffing division. So if you are looking for a job, jobs.zentegra.com is where we have some postings out there that we're trying to fill, some internally at XenTegra, some for other companies. And also, if you're on the call today and you have positions that you need to fill, you can definitely reach out for those as well. We'll get, a job description from you, get what how you want to fill it, what you're looking for. And then we'll go across our network of all kinds of people that we've talked to over the years and try to help you fill that position with a pre-screened candidate. We'll do all the work so that you can sit back and just say, yes, I like this person. No, I don't like that person. Right? We're trying to make it as easy for you as we can. And we're more than happy to jump out there and do that. Micro assessments, we've talked about a little bit. We do those across a bunch of different technologies. More than happy to jump on with one of our solutions engineers and try to go through what you have and try to point out to you anything that we can. Your calls to action here really are that we can help you plan for the future. As you decide on something that you want to take a look at, we can help with demoing that technology. As you decide you want to move forward with the technology, then we can, quote that out for you and then provide services for you for either implementing it, or if you already have it, and you want to adjust it or secure it or upgrade it, we provide consulting services for those too. So very much an end-to-end type of approach. We try to make sure that we're, meeting you where you are and taking you to where you want to go. And so we do a lot for that, which I hope is kind of reflected in all of that I just went through. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, let me know. You've all got the ability to talk. If you just want to blurt in and ask a question, or if you want to put it in the chat, then that's perfectly fine too. We're monitoring that too. But thanks for listening on the XenTegra topics. We are now going to move straight into the Nutanix storage files bootcamp for today. And before I introduce Paul again, I just want to let you guys know you will start seeing emails flying from me. They are to give you what you need to get into the lab. And we will be providing some direction on what these emails mean.
Hey, Harvey, Devin just said chat seems to
Chat
be
is
disabled.
Let me see if I can take care of that. 1 second.
And while Harvey is doing that, the reason why it says unified storage is because we're bundling our products together to be called unified storage. So that's, I'll explain it during the boot camp. That's files and objects and volumes put together into a bundle. So it's just more purchasing options per se. But there'll be, like I alluded to, Devin, you asked about containers and whatnot. We also have object store within Nutanix you can take a look at as well. But a lot of cool stuff.
All right, chat should be enabled now, hopefully.
I think he disabled Devin because we
There we
want to
go.
hear your wonderful voice.
That's fine. I just didn't want to interrupt his flow. He was doing a
no,
good
don't
job.
worry about that.
Please do, please do.
Please interrupt me.
Well, I was going to say you were talking about events at Zentegra.com, but I did go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway
Yeah.
event that they just had a couple months ago, and it was great. So it's definitely worth it to get on there and just see what free stuff you can get. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
you know,
man, it
who you
is.
can interact
Look,
with.
I
Yeah.
have not always been with a partner, so I know how it is to be a customer and see stuff like that out there. And absolutely. And I forgot about the Indy 500. Yeah, we did that. We've also done the BMW driving school that's in South Carolina. There's always a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I got to
So
see.
yeah, feel free to take advantage of anything you see out there. And
Yeah, I got to
don't be afraid
see
to do it more than once.
Mario Andretti while we were there,
If
by
it's
the way.
there, it's there for you. Don't make us show up there and be alone. We like to have fun with friends.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up my screen to show
All right,
you guys
Paul, you
how to log
disappeared
into
on
the lab. Harvey, were you able to forward them all the emails?
Let's see.
Can you guys hear me? Am I double muted by chance? Shoot.
You're all good, Paul.
Okay,
Oh, there
thank
we
you.
go. I guess
Thanks, Harvey.
I got muted for whatever reason. That was weird.
The power of muting.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Give me 1 second.
Yep. And I'll start blasting out these emails with the login information.
Cool. So Harvey should send you an email. It should look similar to this one. And I'll explain here in a second. So you should get 2 emails. Harvey will send out a second email to the lab guide. So this email here is how to log into our hosted POC. So you're gonna actually get a Nutanix cluster to play around and have fun with. You guys will have it until I will say 11 p.m. tonight. So no rush to get it done today. Right, you have all day until 11 p.m. To play around with the cluster. But you guys should each have your own cluster, and I'll show you how to log in. And I'll show you how to log in again after all the presentations. But I just want to get you guys. I know as engineers, you want to log in the lab as soon as possible. Yeah. So I just want to get you guys rolling as soon as possible. So once you get the email, scroll all the way down to lab access. And what we're going to log into is Frame VDI. So Frame is actually a Nutanix product. It's our VDI as a service product that you would log into. So it's another preview of another, a shameful plugin of another Nutanix product. But you're going to go ahead and click on the link here. It's going to ask you to log into your username. So your username is going to be right up here. This. So I'll copy, easiest way to do it, paste. And the password is always going to be NX2Tech and whatever number assigned to your POC. Cool. So once you're in here, go ahead and log into the desktop. And if I'm going too fast, I'm going to do it again later. Make sure everyone's in. But I just want to show you guys what the steps looks like.
Yeah.
So once you're in the VDI, go ahead and open up a Google browser. And then on the email, if you scroll all the way up, there's the cluster IP. Make sure you copy and paste the whole link. Make sure this sync clipboard is on synced, and just paste it into the frame VDI Google there. Cool. So the password is going to be admin. Sorry, the user is going to be admin. And the password is always going to be the NX2Tech thing. Cool. And then you're in our Prism Element console there. And since today's a files lab, you're more than likely going to go in here, go into file server, and we'll just run through the lab. So just make sure you guys can get here. Let me know if you guys have any concerns or any issues while I'm presenting. Just put it in the chat, and we'll get you squared away during our break or our lunch break or whatnot. Questions, concerns, comments so far?
Everybody's email is now out in the ether. Hopefully you have received them by now. Multitasking, Mr. Step. Oh yeah.
I'll go over it again during the break. I just want you guys to see kind of how it flows.
Yeah. We'll go
But
back
you should
to
get
that,
the steps. Yeah, normally we do these in person, so it's a whole lot easier.
All right. Please let me know if you have not seen an email from me, which reminds me, Devin, you will have two. Just look at the second one. I had an oopsie.
Gotcha. If I already signed in with
fine.
the first email, okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
They were both the same, but the first one did not have any context. So the second one had some context to it. And the lab, the link for the lab as well.
Yep. And then once you get the link to the lab, it should get you here to sign in. And once you're in, this is what it's going to look like. And this is what the lab's going to look like. And just go through the steps. The first section here is just logging into, which I kind of showed you guys. We're doing the frame VDI to log into the lab. And then the lab actually starts here. So you go in and you create your all your shares in your file server, and just go step by step. It's really self-explanatory. You can only go wrong if you don't read correctly or skip steps. So just read every word and go line by line. Cool. Again, I'm going to go over this after the presentation and demo. But for anyone who just wants to get right into it, how to get into the lab. Cool. Question, concern, comments? All right, so let's go back to the presentation. I got multiple screens here, so bear with me, guys. Cool. So I mentioned before, so this is actually a unified storage bootcamp, which includes files and objects. We bundled together our product, so it's just more purchasing option for everyone. But to kind of understand the power behind Nutanix files and objects, this is more for anyone new to Nutanix, but we have to understand how Nutanix came to be, right, and how it's built out to see the benefit of files on Nutanix. You can see the benefit of it over a normal file server, maybe better benefit than NetApp ONTAP, your EMC isolons. You can see huge benefit, right, of Nutanix files because of the way Nutanix is built out structurally, right? So to understand Nutanix, when we first came to be, we're known as the hyperconvergence company. We're more than that now. We're considered a hybrid cloud. It's beyond the scope of this class, but we can actually move workload and go into the public cloud as well and move data back and forth from on-prem to AWS to Azure and back and forth. So we can do the hybrid cloud approach. That is who we are now. Again, but to understand Nutanix, we gotta go back in history and go over what HCI is and how we built on that HCI foundation to build out files and all the new products that we have today. So what is HCI? When I joined 4 or 5 years ago, my mission goal, right, was to modernize all the customers' data center. It's almost like how VMware came in with EXXi and vSphere to modernize, right, servers to be virtualized. We're that with hyperconvergence. What it does, right, in a normal environment, you're used to your 3-tier environments, right? You have your networking, your server, virtualized by, say, VMware, and then you have your 3rd tier, which is your point SAN or storage solution. But that, right, comes with a little challenge. Right, because it's kind of isolated. Let's say a server VM needs more storage. The server VM admin would have to reach out to the database admin, right? Or the storage admin, right, to carve out more LUNs or more data store. What if that guy's out on vacation? You're gonna have to wait for him to come back to create and enlarge that data store. More complexity, right, is 3 different tiers, could be 3 different vendors, right? You can have Cisco networking, Dell servers, HPE storage. A lot of time is going to be spent away from what runs your company. You can spend a lot of time, right, patching, upgrading, and make sure everything works together. I kind of call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time is just running the infrastructure, while you can just, focus on your mission goals or what drives revenue for your company. So that's where we come in, right? We try to modernize that approach to what we call HCI, hyperconvergent infrastructure. What that does is it collapses all 3 environments or all 3 tier into a 2U appliance. The 2U appliance is very scalable. If you need to grow, just add more nodes. It is software defined, so again, need more resources, add more nodes, expand out the cluster, and then you have a larger environment. Virtualization, we'll add VMware EXXi on top. If you guys don't want to use VMware, we are having around 70 to 80% conversion rate over to our hypervisor. Our hypervisor is called AHV, and it's already pre-built into the product. So you don't have to buy anything new, you have to install anything new. It's already in the appliance, plug and play, and ready to go. What's not in this slide? We also just announced maybe 6 months ago that we going to partner very heavily with Red Hat for containerized situations, right? We can do OpenShift with, OpenShift and OpenStack with Red Hat. We also have our own built-in containerized product called Carbon. But if you need more specialized features, right, we partner very heavily with Red Hat. And Red Hat says the same, they're going to partner very heavily with us. Citrix also announced that we're their #1 platform of choice to house VDI workloads. So that's those are two really huge announcements that came out as of late in the news. Okay. Again, I'll go over this really quickly because it's kind of just going over Nutanix core, but I still think it's important, right? So to understand Nutanix is to understand what is web scale architecture and kind of the history of how Nutanix came to be. So our founder of Nutanix, Dheeraj Pandey, actually came from Google. Him and his team, right, realized Google has petabytes and petabytes of data. They're having a lot of trouble, right, growing, expanding with a point standard solution. So what they created was the Google file system. What that is basically, right, a software-defined storage. If you need to grow, just add more nodes into the environment. Something breaks, take it out, put a brand new node in, server, white label server in. Fail quick, fix quick, and grow quick is the what web scale architecture means. So Dheeraj took that same approach, that Google file system, and all he did was package it into a 2U appliance that is Nutanix, and then called it distributed storage fabric. So essentially, you guys are really purchasing or getting, right, for your mid-market and enterprise environments as yourselves, is literally a Google Cloud in a box, if that makes sense. I'll take a quick pause there. Any question, concern, comments on that? Cool. So what I want to point out here that's really important and crucial to Nutanix and why we're different from other software-defined product or even any other HCI out there in the market. Again, we were built from the ground up to be HCI. Other vendors added on to their product, kind of a bolt-on, but we grew it from the ground up. Our secret sauce is our CVM, as you can see there in the middle. It just stands for controller virtual machine. So if you guys are familiar with a data center, you can have all flash storage, the fastest SAN out there in the world, right? But they usually come in just 2 controllers. But what if you have thousands of VMs or thousands of users logged in all at once and accessing that all flash storage? It's going to bottleneck, right, in that control, in those 2 physical controllers. So what we did, we virtualized those controllers and then spread it out to each and every node in our cluster. So that opens up more swim lanes, more I/O, more lanes to data in and out. So you don't get that bootstorm effect if you log into VDI, right? You type in something, everyone jams. 10 seconds later, it starts typing. This is why, right? VDI is very powerful solution for us. And again, this is why Citrix named us their #1 preferred platform in the market because of the CVM and how we rewrite our data into our product. Cool. And I know I went through that very quick because I do want to get into files and objects. But any questions, concerns on HCI and kind of the groundwork, right, of Nutanix? Hopefully, I'm not on mute again. I'm just talking to myself.
You're not. I don't know, Paul. They just don't like you. When I talk, there's plenty of engagement. You start talking and nobody talks.
It's the New Yorker in me. This slide here is just going over, right, we're a turnkey solution. Everything is already pre-built into the appliance that you guys purchase. Again, we are a software company, so it doesn't matter what platform, what OEM vendor you guys go with. We do partner, again, heavily with Dell, HPE, IBM, Cisco, and we can go with any of those vendors. But as long as it fits in our ACL list, you can pretty much put on any hardware. Again, over the scope of this class, we are hybrid cloud. So we can put our software on AWS bare metal as well and send data back and forth between the two. Azure is supposedly GA sometime this year. So we can also move to put our software on Azure Cloud, Microsoft Azure as well. Cool. So this is what you guys are here for, is files, right? Files, as you guys know, is unstructured data. With files, you're going to get massive, unpredictable data growth. It's going to be hard to governance and control, and the rise of file data is just keep growing and growing and growing. I kind of like to call it, I don't have this picture on the slide, I wish I added it in. Kind of the iceberg effect, right? You see on top, right, the tip of the iceberg of all the file data you guys do know. But underneath the water, it's 80% of what you don't know of the iceberg, right? That's going to be redundant data, right? Just in case Harvey wants to send everyone in the office his picture of his cat, it could be 100 of the same picture. That's going to take up your file server, right? And any obsolete or trivial data that you don't need anymore that you can clean out or migrate off of your your expensive file server, right? There's a lot of unpredictable data growth with files nowadays. And this is basically going over what I just said. You guys can see I'm not a PowerPoint guy. I'm a talker and a presenter. But comes Nutanix. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I've been around the block a little bit, so I've worked with a lot of different vendors. But at least as of now, or at least to my knowledge, we're one of the few vendors out there that can do all three modes in a single cluster. So we can do file, block, and object in a single Nutanix cluster. I'll repeat again. We can do all three modes, file, object, and block in a single Nutanix cluster. I'll pause there. Question, concern, comments? This is super cool. Yes, yay. We got to give out more cars here.
No, man, we got to wake them up.
The next prize is going to be a Porsche 911.
Oh, wow. That will be a Nutanix sponsored item.
Alex? Cool. So Nutanix, let's start with Nutanix files first, right? So Nutanix files, it's simple to deploy and deploy within minutes. If you guys used Nutanix before, you can see the way we built out, it's super easy to build. We like to use the term one click a lot. You'll see in the lab, it's essentially maybe it's 1 or 2, 3 clicks, but right, it takes 2 or 3 clicks and you have a file server up and running. The way Nutanix grows and expand, as you saw at the web scale architecture, it's very flexible, right? You can deploy anywhere, grow as you need, shrink it, grow it, however you feel fit. We can do both NFS and SMB. It's very feature rich, which I won't spoil anything, but I'll touch on that here in a little bit. And it's secure, reliable, and the way we do our replication factor of 2 and how we fail over, it's very secure. So how it's deployed within Nutanix is we're going to create what we call FSVMs, file server VMs. We're going to group them together into a single namespace, into a file server entity. You can have as many file server entity as you like, but within the file server entity, within the namespace, you can see there's 3 to 16 FSVMs in one entity. We do need to start out with 3. For anyone who used Nutanix before, right, we start out with 3 nodes. It's how we do a relocation factor of 2 for the redundancy and for our failover. You can, not recommended, but you can have just one FSVM. However, again, it's not recommended, but it's doable if you need a robo or a robo environment or whatnot. Okay, so again, the reason why we want to start out with 3, we can also distribute the shares within the FSVM. So let's say FSVM 1, not all users are crammed up in FSVM 1. You can see there, we actually spread them out between the 3. Cool. I'm gonna skip the slide. It's a busy slide of how it reads and writes and it's a path to your FSVM. A user wants to look for a file, it goes to the file server, looks for the path, it comes back to the user. Won't waste too much time. What is important, right? I mentioned before again, we can do both SMB and NFS. What's also cool that I don't think most people know is that a single file share can actually be both SMB and NFS, as you can see here. What you would do when you initially create one, you would choose a protocol to be the main, and then you can also see that also enable non-native NFS access. So you can have both SMB and NFS multi-protocol share. I'll take another quick pause there. Question, concern, comments? And you'll see this in the lab when you create all your file shares. Cool. Again, the reason for 3 different FSVMs, we can performance optimize and rebalance all the users to different FSVMs. We can scale out and we can scale horizontally as well. If you run out, we can add a new FSVM or a new Nutanix node and rebalance out. Oops, I forgot a slide, but rebalance out those users to FSVM 4. So we can scale up and scale out. Oh, this is what the slide's going. So you can scale up. I forgot the slide. You scale out. Built in is we can do smart DR. We can replicate files over to another site. It's built natively into file services with no additional costs. It's very simple to configure and monitor through Prism Central. So Prism Central is a level above Prism Element. You see it today in the lab. Prism Element, right, manages a single cluster. Prism Central manages multiple Prism Element, hence manages different clusters and different sites. That's why you want to log into Prism Central, so you can manage site A and site B, and manage that smart DR files replication.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
I'm assuming site B is saying that there is already Nutanix file set up there, correct?
Correct, yes.
And what if you don't have a cluster in your site B? Is there any other way to replicate the share?
Yes, glad you asked. You can also use any third-party backup vendor. We do have change file tracking enabled as well. So any backup vendor that leverages change file tracking can do that as well. And that just takes snapshots, right? If there's no changes, it won't take those incremental backups, and I'll just it will only do a backup and send over to a backup server, which you can put right in DR2. We partner very heavily with Haiku, Commvault, and Veritas for that. And Veeam as well. I think Veeam's not on there because they don't have a physical backup server per se. But we do have what we call Nutanix Mine, which is our backup target appliance for Haiku and Veeam. If that makes sense.
What did you call that? Nutanix Mine?
Yep, M-I-N-E.
Okay.
So it's a Nutanix server-heavy cluster that we're going to pre-build with a Haiku and Veeam virtual appliance. Pre-built packets for you in a single SKU of the purchase.
Okay, perfect. Because we have we utilize Veeam, and we currently only have one data center that has a Nutanix host in it. So
Yep. So definitely reach out to Veeam, and it's a joint partnership. Doesn't matter who you reach out first. I think the appliance wise, Veeam might start out because they need that built out and size for you. So that they might take the first run, but our two account teams will talk hand in hand. And again, for you as a customer, you're only purchasing one price SKU.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Great question. Cool. What you can see in the lab today is we also have built-in files analytics. Usually you have to buy a third-party vendor like Varonis or Veritas Insight, right? But ours is built in. We can see data about data, what data is actually in your file server. I alluded to that iceberg analogy, right? Or those GIFs, or those videos, or those PDFs. What type of data are they? How many are there? And it's data about data. Anomaly detection, we can actually also see, since it's tied into the Active Directory, we can see any anomalies, who's accessing a file they shouldn't be, who's accessing the file too often, and what files have been denying everyone. We can set up those anomaly rules and policies to catch those. In audit trails as well, we can search up Harvey and see if he's actually sending out 1,000 cat pictures.
Well, I like
Harvey,
to
or 1,000 the Bronco car.
Yeah, see, there you go.
For me, it would be Porsche 911. Hopefully, I'm hinting at Alex and you the Bobby one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. Asking you, so I received. We do have ransomware protection built into it as well. We detect, block any unknown patterns. Again, those are built out through policies, and it will be in the lab. Data aging is important as well. Do you guys know how long that's been in there? Do you have a retention policy involved, right? You can set up a retention policy. Let's say a file has been there more than 5 years. Go ahead and offload it off to a cheaper appliance, to S3 or another cheaper storage, or just delete it altogether. But you can set up those retention policies. Data Lens is a level above data analytics. So Data Lens is a as a service product. You just log into our site, and what it does is it manages a whole wide geo. So you can see multiple sites that you have in text files, and you can scan each individual one. Again, you can smart tier, you can replicate, offload data out, and you can do DR to different locations and manage that through Data Lens. Yada, yada, yada. You can also smart tier out to AWS S3. Yep. So remember I said data aging, right? You can set up those retention policies. A lot of people to send out to AWS S3 or Glacier to offload off of your more expensive file spinning disk. You can offload to S3. Nutanix, again, also have our own S3 object store. You can replicate it out to another site running Nutanix object as well. So a lot of options. We're more than happy to discuss with you all those different options and what's important or what's most cost effective for your specific needs. But just know that there's a lot of options to accommodate your needs. Any questions there? We can take we've been talking a lot. We can take a quick 10-minute bio break, water break, and then we can come back. Let's come back at 12. Let's come back at 12:20 if you guys don't mind. You guys want to do that?
Sounds good.
Cool. I'll see you guys at 12:20.
Hi, Frank, thanks for joining. We're just about to come back from a break, but I am in the process right now of sending you a set of directions for logging into the lab. So you should see those in just a moment.
Cool. Let's go ahead and get started back again. Just one more section on PowerPoint, and I'll do a quick demo, and we'll dive right into labs, guys. Bear with me. I'll be quiet soon, I promise. Cool. So again, I mentioned before, files, object, and block. Block is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't go too detail in this boot camp, right? But we can also do objects, either on the same cluster, or we can do dedicated clusters for objects. I forgot to mention this, but same thing with files. We can have a dedicated files cluster just for files. Cool. So again, we have native S3 compatible for unstructured data within Nutanix to our cluster. It's massive scale out and scale up architecture. It's a software-defined object solution built from microservices. You'll see in the lab what are microservices, right? They're kind of our add-on products, but it's part of our microservices of Nutanix. And you can see here on top of the CVM, we'll have a containerized object services within the cluster. Again, this will be an S3 global namespace, also accessible via NFS version 3. We can do on a single node, right? We can just have one from the smallest deployment, and we can actually scale out up to 32 nodes and multiple load balancers. So that's our largest single cluster. For objects, is we can do 32 nodes. And again, it's 32 nodes that we tested and supported. I'm sure we can do more, but what's tested and supported right now for objects is 32 nodes. But right, 32 nodes is a single cluster. We can do multiple clusters, and you can see how far we can scale out with objects. Question, concern, comments? What are cluster components of objects? There's two, right? We're going to have load balancers. I'm going to have them built in VMs, ensure that clients are distributed across the worker VMs. The worker VMs are the ones that are going to provide the S3 interface and storing of data and metadata that you're going to log into Prism Central to manage out your object store. And again, you'll do this in the lab. It'll make more sense. So again, our Prism element manages a single cluster. Prism Central, you'll log into there as well. That's going to be where all their microservices are going to be accessible through. And again, object is one of our microservices. So how can you use Nutanix objects? 4 main reasons to use objects, right? One is for DevOps. S3 compatible, single deployment. You can identify and access management, and you can test out your performance. Long-term retention, right? Again, I mentioned you can offload old data. Go ahead and offload it to the S3 object store. So that's for long-term lifecycle, right, archiving, you can archive it out to S3. We can also use it for, I think someone asked about using like files for an object or files for a backup target or something. I might have misheard it. But you can use Nutanix objects as a backup target within Nutanix. That's kind of where Nutanix Mine comes in as well. But you don't have to purchase Mine to do this. You can also just leverage Nutanix objects and use it as a backup target. More and more people are using it for big data analytics. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. I can double check this, but I believe we partner heavily with NVIDIA. We can do big data analytics, Splunk data. We can house it in objects. Videos is a very good use case for objects as well, right? Because you need a large storage to dump all those video file sizes. So a lot of good use cases for objects. Those are the 4 main ones. Again, to recap, right, we file objects and block in a single cluster. Any question, concern, comments?
So if just to make sure I understood, if we had 2 clusters, one in physically separated, one in each physically separated data center, I could, let's say, have Nutanix files hosted in data center A and then have a Nutanix object in data center B and use data center B's object as a backup point. Is that what you were saying?
Correct. Yeah, it'll be 2 separate clusters. Correct.
Okay. And you said no real licensing other than this unified storage bundle would be needed?
Correct. So that'll be the license, is the Nutanix Unified Stores NUC bundle, and it'll bundle objects and files in for you.
Okay. And then if I wanted to get those files back, how does that work as a Nutanix object? Like somebody says that they deleted a file and they need it back. Is that possible with Nutanix objects?
You can do restore, yes.
Okay.
So there's multiple ways. You can use our own native restore functionality, or again, a third-party vendor.
Okay.
Yeah, third party will always have more options for you. Right, they can catalog all your backups, where they are. There's a lot more to it, but we do have native backup built in.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep, very, very, very good question. Cool. I guess that's pretty much my PowerPoint presentation. Actually, I can do a quick demo before we go on to this, if you guys don't mind. And I will log you guys straight to the lab. So give me 1 second and I'll do a quick demo. Oh. Let me log into my demo environment. Cool. Harvey, am I saying the right screen? Does it say Files Analytics right here in the middle?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, perfect. I've made mistakes before saying the wrong screen, so wouldn't be too safe, right? Again, this is built into when you purchase files, is you get Files Analytics. I think it's super cool. You don't have to go out and buy any third-party vendor or anything. It's part of the product, right? So multiple things you can see in the dashboard. So first thing first, what you want to do is run a scan. I don't run it because it already ran, but you can do this in the lab. You're going to create a file share and then you're going to scan it, and basic data will come out. Will look as pretty as this one, but you have basic data to look at and play around. But again, you can see capacity trend, right? If anything more data was added, removed within the last 7 days, 30 days, or a year. You can see the growth of capacity trend. Again, data aging, hot data, warm data, or cold data, and you can adjust. any anomaly alerts. Permission denials, this is pretty cool. You can see here Kraken try to log into a couple files here that you shouldn't have. We got multiple denials. File distribution size, you can see breakdown of the size. And by distribution type. So again, I alluded to the iceberg effect, right? A lot of people know how much is in their storage, but what's the breakdown? You can see it's broken down to videos, CD, DVDs. I'm not sure anyone actually watch DVDs anymore, but they're there. Images, any installers, any ISOs, system files, disk images, others, Harvey's cat pictures. You can see the breakdown there. Cool. And then you can see the top 5 access files, top user, and then you can actually see, right, the operations. Anyone rename anything, delete anything, permission changes, and whatnot. So you can set policies and block or manage your files more securely. So with files analytics, 3 main things that's important with file analytics. It's broken into 3 categories. Those are your audit trails, anomalies, and ransomware. So let's go to audit trail. Here you can do a search file, so you can search for your file. Right, you might not know what folder is in or which filer is in. If you're a large customer, it's gonna be hard to find. Just type what you're looking for. Hopefully there's something here. I'll do a wildcard search for any text files. It's a demo environment. Let me see if there's anything else. There's nothing here, but you can search and it'll show where the file is located and the path. You can also search for individual folders as well. A lot of use cases for this is people put folders within folders within folders. So it's hard to find. Search up the folder name and it'll give you the file path of where it's located. You can also see different users in your Active Directory. Somebody's not working today. Hopefully find someone. You guys will see this in the lab, so I apologize. It's not searching up anything here for me today. You can search up someone up, and once you do, you see it'll say Bob, what files he's accessed within the last couple of days, any file permissions that he accessed that he shouldn't have accessed. You can actually drill down to Bob's activity under user. Anomalies. So I alluded to, you can set policies under anomalies. So you can define anomaly rule. If this is where it'll flag into your email alert. So let's say one anomaly here is 100 files got deleted within an hour. That's an anomaly, right? It'll flag it and it'll shoot you an email. Someone created something within an hour, it'll flag it and you'll get alerted. So many different anomalies you can create. Permission change, right? Or you can also do this, permission denied. You can see if there's a folder or a file, let's say 500 people within an hour all got access denied to that folder, it'll flag it and you see that anomaly. So a lot of cool things you can do here to secure your environment. And then ransomware, I won't get into too much detail. You can play it there in the lab. Questions, concern, comments? I just wanted to share that. I don't know how too deep it goes in file analytics. This is my favorite part of Nutanix files. This is files analytics functionality, right, built into the product that not many customers are aware that we have. I just want to emphasize that it's there.
Yeah, agreed. That's a big deal too, because as each of you is looking at this, I want you to kind of also think about your current file share, file servers, and what's hosting that, and whether or not they already have built-in protection for ransomware. I can tell you things like, oh, 500 people got access denied within the past hour, right? Those are big deals that you should be able to take a look at and easily see where that can provide you some value. And if you don't see that right off, I'd love to talk through some scenarios with you because you haven't seen enough yet.
Cool. Harvey, can you make sure everyone gets into lab properly? Well, let's just dive right into to labs.
Yeah.
Do you guys need me to show you again how to log into it? I can go slower this time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Everybody at this point should have their email with the login credentials. Please let me know if you do not have it yet, but I believe everybody should have it at this point.
Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen again. Cool. Okay, I'll go slow. Feel free to go off mute because I won't be able to read this chat while I'm on sharing. So pull up this email. I'll take a couple seconds for you guys to pull up this email. Okay. Once you guys have this email, again, keep in mind your cluster name. So right now I'm on POC 020. Scroll all the way down to where it says lab access. And I'll pause there until everyone's here. Cool, everyone good? Okay, so where you want to go is where it says frame VDI. And click on this link here. Okay, so once you click on it, the username for the VDI, you can use any of these. I already logged into 01, so I'll probably kick me out, but I'll log into 02. But you can pick any of these. And the password will be right here. The VDI VPN user password. Let's go ahead and copy and paste that. Okay, so I'll pause there for at least a minute or two, just make sure everyone is here. Anything pop up in the chat, Harvey?
Nothing in the chat.
Perfect. So once we're here, go ahead and click on desktop. Okay, so once we're here, open up a Google browser. Make sure the clipboard down here there's a refresh button that is synced. That allows you to copy and paste anything from your desktop to the VDI frame. So shameless plug of our product. This is super cool. You can copy paste whatever on your laptop, your desktop, or to the VDI desktop. So very, very cool. Again, sorry guys, shameful product plug placement. Like and subscribe, please. Cool. So once you guys are there, scroll all the way back to the top and make sure you guys copy this whole link. Control copy. And then paste it into the VDI frame. Hit advance, proceed. It is safe, I promise. Well, I guess I can't promise, but it's safe. Prism password will be down here. So you see login credentials right below the cluster IP. So we're logging into Prism, and you see that that's the username and password. Okay, so username admin, and the password is that NX2Tech. Okay, I'll take a pause there until we're all here. I'll wait. Any issues, any concerns? Cool. So in the lab, since it's files, see the home tab here? You guys will go ahead and go and click on file server. And the lab will just have you go through here, click on the bootcamp file server, launch the file server there. And this way you'll go ahead and create all your shares and whatnot and do the labs. Once it gets into files analytics portion, make sure, right, key here, make sure you click on the file server. Because if you don't, this doesn't show up. So make sure you click on the file server, and then we can launch files analytics. And you'll just run through the labs from there. Cool. And then the labs, will look like this. Nope, not that one. Where'd it go? So again, we went through the first section. That's just to log in. Get into the files lab, and that's where it shows you, right? Go from the home tab, go up the file server, launch it, and then from there you're going to create your shares. Lab 2 will be the files analytics. So remember, click on the file server, go down to files analytics, and then run your scans. Optional, if you guys have time, again, you have this lab until 11 p.m. tonight or 11:30 p.m. Go ahead and do the optics lab and create your buckets. Bonus wise, I haven't gotten to this part, but feel free to go through it if you like. So Peer, P-E-E-R, is a partner alliance vendor of ours to do files replication and peer-to-peer, more and more advanced files replication. File locking, right? They can do file locking, they can do a single global namespace between sites. A lot of cool features that we can add on with Peer global file services. Again, I don't work for Peer, so I haven't tested out this lab, but it's there if you want to. Again, no pressure to do this part, but definitely, right, get through files lab, files analytics, objects if you can, but down here, these are all optional. Cool. Question, concern, comments? If not, I'll be quiet and we'll just do labs the whole time.
Yeah, and just a reminder, everybody does have access to come off mute and talk. So if you run into something and you want to ask a question, feel free to do that. We're here for that. You also have the ability to do that in the Q&A within Zoom and the chat within Zoom as well. So 3 ways to reach us as you need us. We want to make sure that you're getting full value out of this. So definitely jump in if you have time to do it now. And that way you've got us live to be able to answer you. If you don't have time or something ends up interrupting you, that's perfectly fine. Like Paul said, these are still good until 11 p.m. tonight. So you'll still have access to jump in and do that. And I will stick my email address and Paul's email address in the chat, so that if you guys run into any questions after we're not here together, you can still ask them, still have ability to get to us to ask those questions.
And Harvey, you can unrecord now.
I always forget that part.